Welcome to the Pete Maravich Assembly Center and the Women's Gymnastics Regional Final in Baton Rouge. All roads lead to that big trophy, and 4 teams got the slapback sticker on the board here for the regional final. Stanford and Michigan will be competing today, as well as the home team. The LSU Tigers, they rolled, and the Clemson Tigers right with them, the underdog of this regional. Can they keep the magic alive? Only 2 teams advance. Stanford, Michigan, LSU, and Clemson will be working it out to earn one of the 2 spots to Fort Worth and the NCAA championships. Man, what a fun ride. It's April Anarchy here in women's gymnastics. I'm John Roethlisberger with Olympic silver medalist and NCAA champion Sam Pesek. Sam, what can we expect today?
Well, if LSU continues to put up those strong numbers, then they're definitely advancing. So the question mark becomes, which other team is taking that second spot? And the rest of the 3 teams really left some points on the table. So I think it's going to be whichever team can put a complete meet together here tonight.
Yeah, one of those 3 is really going to have to step up. The LSU Tigers completely rolled in that regional semifinal. Big reason is Kaylin Chio.
And she was perfect on this vault again. Can you believe she has stuck 10 out of 13 vaults this season? That is absolutely incredible. But then she took that amazing standard, kept it all the way to floor for another perfect 10 to finish out her competition. She is just remarkable. They're hoping to see another few more 10s here tonight. Then Anna Barbosu was a standout for Stanford, starting off with this soup full. The thing that stood out about her, for me, on round 2 were these landings. She has those difficult skills, but has really learned throughout this season how to soak in the landings for a perfect stick. Was the ACC champion on this floor routine. Again, hoping for her to have another good night for Stanford.
So the athletes are warmed up. They got the 1 touch in, and we're about to compete. 6 gymnasts per team on each event. Top 5 scores count. You drop the low. That's just like the regular season. But unlike the regular season, we go from 2 judges to 4 judges. The high and the low are dropped. They average the middle 2 scores for that gymnast final score. Here's where everybody's starting. LSU on vault. They go Olympic order. Stanford on bars. Clemson on balance, being a tough place to start. And Michigan on the floor exercise. That number next to the event they're starting is their rank on that event, not their overall rank. Their rank on that event. All right, let's go with the highest seeded team here at this regional, the home team, LSU Tigers. Here's Lexi Zeiss, great starting gymnast for them.
Starting with the Yurchenko 1.5. Really good, clean, controlled landing.
Over to bars quickly. Levi Young, Ruidivar leading things off for the Cardinals.
Has such a beautiful line throughout this. On those pirouettes, though, you want to see the athletes finish in vertical position. Nice, aggressive handstand. Got to go for this stick. Nice. They clocked in 1 for Stanford. They're hoping that trend continues.
So the Clemson Tigers, what a story they have been this season. The first time as a seeded team, the highest ranking in the regular season as well. They've just done tremendous things this year. Now trying to keep that magic going. Here's Lily Lippett. She is a leadoff athlete in the regional semifinals on 3 separate events.
Really going for, I think, one of the most difficult series in NCAA gymnastics. Front aerial to a side aerial. Got a little wonky towards the end, but was able to save herself from a fall.
Right hand of your screen, Michigan Wolverines starting things off on floor. Sophie Parenti.
Left-hand side of your screen, Lily Lippett actually had shoulder surgery at the end of last season, so she never competed that series, and they changed a lot of her beam skills so that she would be hands-free, a little less pressure on her surgery shoulder. Right-hand side of your screen, Sophie starting double pike, no movement of the feet. That's what you want to see. Quickly, left-hand side. Lily Lippett, dismount, 1 step forward. Lily has the ability to be so good on that event. Clemson's going to want to drop that score.
Connor McLean, the second vaulter to go for LSU, left hand of your screen.
She got a 9-9 in the second round, hoping to land just as strong. Hop back. I actually saw more block off the table from Connor on this vault, but didn't open it up or flare enough to be able to land that.
Yeah, big Yurchenko full. One thing about sticking that vault is kind of stings your ankles when you do it right on, and she's got those taped up ankles. You got to think she might feel that a little bit.
Yeah, you could see her spot the ground, and I wanted to see her arms go out to the side, almost stop her momentum so she could find that stick.
Score for Levi Young, Root Evivar in the leadoff spot. 9.85, very good start scores. Those scores in the 9.8s, mid to high 9.8s, those are good start scores, but these teams are going to want to have scores in the 9.9s for the scores they are counting. Here is Ava Sorrento.
Good handstand, holding that position. Nice rhythm. I saw legs together on that, Maloney. Not all athletes are able to keep their legs together on the backswing. That stands out about Ava. Beautiful.
Bree Clark, left hand of your screen for Clemson in the 2 spot.
Ava Sorrento, huge routine for Stanford. That has to better that 9.85. That was good.
You said Clemson would not want to count that Lily Lippett score. You're absolutely right, Sam. Scores in the 9.6s. If you're counting them, it just right there could be enough to take you out of this hunt. They're going to have to drop that score. They got to drop it.
Nice series. Man, Bree Clark has such beautiful gymnastics. She gets so high off the beam and somehow finds her way back to the beam and then doesn't wobble while she's at it.
Peyton Davis following that Sophie Parenti 9.85. So 3 teams here starting with 9.85s. That's a very good start. Clemson, the only one in a bit of trouble early.
Quickly, left-hand side of your screen. That's a Rudy dismount. Small hop, but getting things back on track for Clemson.
A pair of 9.85s for LSU on the vault. Connor McLean added another one after that Lexi Zeiss leadoff score.
Double pike. 1 foot movement at the end there. She finessed it as dance, so curious what the judges are going to do there. The goal for these athletes is to finish each tumbling pass in control, so a lot of that is up to the judges' discretion on what they think is control. So 2 athletes done for Michigan on floor exercise. We're going to go over to balance beam with Clemson here in a moment, but we did get a vaulter in there that we did not get to show you at home. It was Victoria Roberts, and she put up a 9.9 as the 3rd gymnast to go for LSU on vault. This is Emma Maluski from Hamburg, Germany. Has got some great elite experience in Europe, competed at the European Championships, actually won this event at the European Championships. Right hand of your screen, Sienna Robinson. Yeah, Sienna, right hand side of your screen caught a little bit close. But the rest of this has been looking smooth. Finishes tuck full in. Gotta get those stuck landings here. Love that a high toe releve after her skills. You know, she's coming in with international experience, but college gymnastics is a beast of its own. So doing a beam routine internationally is very different than all of these fans in the stands screaming at you while you're doing your beam routine. So head coach Liz Crandall-Howell right there is been really impressed with how she's handled that transition.
Emma may have taken exception to that comment, Sam. She just smoked that beam routine after Bree Clark's 9.85. So handling the pressure are the Clemson Tigers. Michigan Wolverines rolling on floor. Peyton Davis, a 9.875. Sophia Diaz looking to build on it. Left hand of your screen, Kalia Lincoln for LSU. One of the biggest vaults you will see in college gymnastics right here, left side.
And she's been getting really good at honing in the landing. She was named SEC Specialist of the Year. Almost walking into her vault. Can she get the landing? Not tonight.
That is a big hop, Sam, but she threw those arms out to the side. It just gives you an idea of what kind of power she is working with on that event.
Yeah, I saw her really do a nice one in warm-up. Sophia got a 9-9 in the second round. Scores are building for Michigan. Big oversplit leaps. Certainly got the rotation around there. Yeah, this is going to be a good score for Michigan.
Tara Walsh now for Clemson. After that, Sophia Diaz floor routine. Following Maluski's 9.9. So the pressure was on the Tigers early with that lip at 9.625. But man, have they answered.
Tara's been incredibly steady on everything she does from start to finish. And it's the little details. I saw the high toe right there, even in her dance. That really stands out to me.
Anna Roberts, right hand of your screen for Stanford. Sienna Robinson scored a 9.725 in the third spot, so a little bit of a low score. They're going to want to drop that one as well here on the uneven bars.
Anna, right hand side of your screen, ACC Gymnast of the Year. Little foot flutter there, but she has the ability to put up those big scores that Stanford needs. Wow. That was beautiful.
And what a veteran she has been for this team this year. So valuable to that Stanford squad, and shows it right there. Big time routine.
Tara finishing with that 1.5 dismount to a stuck landing. That's good because, again, they want to erase Lily Lippitt's first score to stay in this competition.
And they are working their way right towards that big time. Sophia Diaz got a 9.875. Here's Carly Bauman. Only two of these teams scored a 197 or better in the semifinal round. LSU went over 198. But if you're going to advance, you have got to at least be in the 197s. That's a 9.85 average on your counting score. So keep that in mind through this competition. Below 9.85, not good. Amari Drayton, left hand of your screen for LSU, following Kalia Lincoln's 9.825. They're used to higher than that here late in the vault rotation.
Well, Amari with money in round 2. Can she do it again? Just one step, but great body position. That's probably a 1/10 step there. Good body shapes in the air. You know, a lot of teams have that athlete that's really special. This Carly Bauman is that athlete for Michigan. She's one of just 7 athletes that were named AAI award finalists. That's considered to be the Heisman Trophy of gymnastics, given to the nation's top senior. And she has just been so consistent since she got to Michigan. Very clean gymnastics. Her legs are glued during her twisting skills.
Left hand of your screen, Ella Cesario, the senior veteran, came over from Cal with Justin and Liz. Been so valuable to the team this year. She is here in the 5th spot. One gymnast after her to go. Tara Walsh, a 9.825 in the 4th spot for Clemson.
The goal for Ella right here is to be aggressive. Number 1 rule of beam is look at the end of the beam, but another thing to consider is no hesitation. Nicely done. See how sharp she brought her arms back. That's usually her mental cue, reminding herself how sharp and aggressive to be throughout this routine.
Amari Drayton for LSU in the 5 spot, a 9.85 for her. So all scores above a 9.825 or better for LSU on vault.
That's actually a new combination for Ella. They took out her old one just a couple of weeks ago, handled that change really nicely.
It was a 9.9 for Anna Roberts for Stanford. Now Anna Barbosu in the 5 spot. They're trying to erase a 9.725.
Handstand, right-hand side of your screen. This is called a shang. Really difficult combination. So jam-packed. A little shy on that handstand, but brings it back up with a Van Leeuwen to the high bar. Ella Cesario with the stick, and fortunately Anna had that one step forward. I got to give it to Stanford bringing all of the difficulty, but you got to get those details in moments like these. This is that shang release move. You can see slightly her arms were bent. That'll be a little deduction. And then again, the step on the dismount. Probably a 10th deduction there. So fortunately, unlike Elite, she doesn't get bonus for the difficulty she's bringing to that bar routine.
The best vaulter in the nation, Kaylin Chio. She got a 10 in the semifinal round here at this regional. She stuck 10 out of 13 this season. Can she make it? 11. The crowd knows it. They are waiting on their edge of their seats. Will she deliver? Shot, Chio! It's another one!
Make that 11 out of 14 sticks this season. I hate to say it, but it's got to be another 10 for Kaylin Chio.
I mean, if they gave her a 10 in the semifinal round, explain to me how you don't do it again. We shall see. Here we are on floor exercise. Quincy Walters, the 5th gymnast to go for Michigan. All scores of 9.85 or better for them. The 10s are coming in, by the way, over at the vault. The Tiger Queen gets another one.
The crowd is going crazy in here. Quincy's doing a good job staying focused. Floor is actually a really fun event to compete when the crowd is loud because it kind of makes it like a party.
It is absolutely rocking right now in the PMAC. Carly Bauman on floor, by the way, for Michigan, 9.875 for her right before this Quincy Walters floor routine. Ella Cesario are waiting for that. Oh, it's a 9.825 for her. And this is the anchor gymnast for the Clemson Tigers, Quinn Cool, at the end of your screen.
Oh, beautiful triple series, and just had a second guess herself on the landing with that lunge on the left-hand side of your screen. Quinn's the anchor on bars as well. They actually have the same leadoff and anchor, both on bars and beam. They really like the consistency of that. Good job fighting through this beam routine. 1.5, small hop.
But how about just rolling through 5 big-time hit routines when they needed them are the Clemson Tigers. I'll tell you what, Sam, we saw some gymnastics left on the floor, so to speak, in that semifinal round. These teams, maybe except for LSU, all could have done better, but to date, they have come in, and wow, are they looking sharp. Here is the anchor gymnast for Stanford, Ui Soma.
Wow, beautiful, holding that first handstand. This is looking incredible. Wow. Little leg separation, back up to the high bar. Quick to that handstand position. She can get a stick, though. This is going to be a good score. Stanford needed to drop that 9.725. They want to get ahead. This is one of their best events. They're trying to build as much of a cushion after rotation number 1.
And they will not have to count that 9.725. Already 2 9.9s, 2 9.85s. Feels like that Soma. She's got the stick. I guess that represents the tree for Stanford. It looks a little worn out, though. Look at that thing. They probably found that outside the PMAC.
I wonder if they travel with that.
We'll see what that Soma score comes in as. We have one more gymnast yet to go here in this rotation. It's been a great floor rotation for the Michigan Wolverines. This is Jazara Ranger, the sophomore. Can she get their first 9-9 early in this competition today?
She has the ability to. She is such a powerhouse. About controlling those landings, getting her leaps all the way around. Opens big, double layout, no foot movement. Front layout. This is her combination pass into double back. A lot of control is what I saw in that pass. I think that might go 9-9. I think that might be their 9-9 score, which certainly helps them after rotation one. Look at this height. Leg separation in the air there, but spots the landing nicely. Doesn't have any of those deductions. Very difficult front layout into double back. Nice job spotting to know where she is in the air for a good, clean landing.
Nice finish for the Michigan Wolverines and Jazara Ranger. Quinn Cool, a 9.775 in that anchor spot for Clemson. So they are going to have to count that score in the 9-7. Certainly not something they wanted to do, but they still rallied and put together a decent score. Not going to take them out of it by any means. A 9.95 from Jazara Ranger would put Michigan in the second spot. It's a 9.9. So Stanford currently sits in that second spot. Man, what a great start. In southern Louisiana, you might hear the French phrase, laissez les bon temps rouler. It means let the good times roll. The good times are rolling for Kaylin Chio and the LSU Tigers after one rotation. Welcome back to Baton Rouge and the PMAC after one rotation. The top three teams all within a tenth of a point. Remember, the top two teams advance. Doesn't matter if you win. You just want to be in the top two. Michigan currently right outside of that. Clemson not out of it by any means. 0.225 behind that second place spot. So good start for them. This regional has been exciting. We've had some 10s, Sam Peshek, and let's take a look at some of those 10s from around the regionals.
Yeah, 5 10s in the second round, and Kaylin Chio started off with one on vault, and guess what? She got another one here on floor, 2 in the same meet. Just incredible. Then you talk about Nikki Smith and how dynamic and how precise she's been on this landing. Clocked her 10 in the second round for Michigan State. And then Sky Blakely, she's done this another time this year. Perfect 10 on the uneven bars, bringing that big difficulty. And now that she's figured out that landing, she's a force on that event.
She's something.
Orly Tran on the uneven bars. Look at this form on this dismount. Throughout that routine, start to finish, it was just a piece of art.
Yeah, the 10s were great, Sam, but maybe one of the biggest moments of this regional so far is Ohio State. The only unseeded team to advance to a regional final was on the strength of that vault rotation. The highest score they've gotten on that event since 2003. I'll tell you what, that was a timely vault rotation for the Buckeyes. All right, let's take a look at the brackets. This is our regional, Baton Rouge Regional. Obviously, 2 of these teams are going to advance to that NCAA championship in Fort Worth. We're just one rotation in. That story is still unfolding. But let's move on to the Tempe Regional. where we can start to speculate a little bit, Sam, on who we think is going to advance. What do you like here?
Well, Florida's been on a roll, so I imagine they will advance. Georgia had some hiccups in the second round and still managed to fight to earn a spot here, so I bet they're going to come in hot, but I wouldn't ever count out Michigan State and Cal.
Tune into that one tonight, 8 Eastern time on ESPN, plus the Lexington Regional tomorrow at 5 Eastern time. This is the one the Buckeyes are in.
Yeah, Oklahoma's consistently been in that #1 spot. I imagine they advance. So really the question right now for me is Missouri and Arkansas. Ohio State's going to have to be really incredible. 2 competitions in a row to be in that mix, but I really think it's going to be between Missouri and Arkansas.
Yeah, let's look at the final one, the Corvallis Regional. This will be Sunday at 8 Eastern time. This one, they all got drama, but does any of them have more drama than this regional?
No. The answer is just no. UCLA and Alabama are the top seeds here, but I would never count out Utah because they haven't missed an NCAA championships in history. So I know they're going to bring their A game, and Minnesota's got a lot left in the tank as well.
And of course, you and me going for bragging rights. Your Bruins and my Gophers. We'll see if either one of those can advance. Well, highlights from rotation 1, and it's just like rinse and repeat. Let's go to Kaylin Chio.
What's more words that we can use to describe how incredible she is? She just finds the landing every single time. Warm-up, competition. It can be hot, it can be cold, morning, night. She's going to stick that vault and get a perfect 10.
No gymnast in history has ever stuck vaults the way Kaylin Chio has done. It's absolutely been sensational this season.
But Stanford on bars put up 3.99, starting with Ava Sorrento's beautiful execution from start to finish. Then you had Anna Roberts, her dynamic release moves, sealing the deal on that dismount. So beautiful. And then Uwe in that anchor spot, just holding those handstands, showing off all of that precision. Really good job finding the landing there for their third 9-9 score.
So after rotation 1, as we mentioned, the top 3 teams all within 1/10 of a point. Really anyone's game. Top 2 teams advance to the NCAA championships. Kaylin Chio, 6'10" in her last 12 routines. Absolutely amazing. 13th in her career. Only won her freshman year, Sam. The rest have come in her sophomore year. My question is, what was she doing in her freshman year?
Well, I think now that she's figured out how to do it, the train won't stop.
Michigan starts this rotation on vault. LSU on bar, Stanford on beam, Clemson on floor exercise. Again, those are their ranks on their respective events. Here's the thing. LSU, it's obviously very close. They're in the lead, but they have vault behind them. Vault has been the lowest scoring event at most of the regionals. So they have it behind them, and they still have the lead. That is good for them. Here's Michigan now on vault and Peyton Davis.
They got to find those landings. Oh. Man, and that's what happens when, I guess, they are trying to find the landings. They're trying to find them too hard. You hang on to it, unfortunately, under-rotated. That's an automatic 1/10 deduction.
Lexi Zeiss in the leadoff spot again, this time on bars.
Good with that uprise on the backswing of her Maloney. She's such a quick athlete. The important thing here is the dismount. One small step, not too bad. Probably just a 0.5 for that movement of her right foot.
Claire Dean, the senior, in the leadoff spot for Stanford now as they move to the balance beam. A good event for them. Ranked 7th in the nation. Trouble.
Didn't get the push out of her back foot to get the rotation all the way around on that layout step out. That could be probably 1.5 to 2/10 for that mistake.
Lily Lippett, right hand of your screen for the Clemson Tigers, leads things off on their second event of this competition, the floor exercise.
Claire finishing 1.5. Nice recovery for that routine. But if Stanford wants to continue to build that cushion, that's the score they're going to want to drop.
Yeah, as tight as this competition feels this evening, Sam, it just has a different vibe than the semifinals, where it felt like there were some mistakes, but these teams competing today might have got away with a little bit more in that semifinal. Not going to happen today, it looks like. You're going to have to put up Like we said, 9.85s, 9.9s. Left hand of your screen, Reina Gugino. Follows at 9.725 from Davis. Got to go bigger than that.
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. She stuck that in the second round, and it was incredible. Scoring a 9.9. Not quite as solid on the landing, but still a really good vault. They needed that. Really good rhythm on that combination pass. Second flip rose above the first one.
Lexi Zeiss first up for LSU on bars, 9.875 for her. Good start score there as well. Man, setting the table nicely is Lexi Zeiss for the Tigers. Temple Landry now follows Claire Dean's 9.6. We saw Clemson on their beam rotation put up a 9.6 with Lily Lippett in that opening spot. Let's see if Stanford can answer the way that the Clemson Tigers did. Ashley Cowan, right hand of your screen.
No.
Ooh.
Unfortunate fall from Stanford. That means they're definitely going to count Claire Dean's 9.6 score. They really opened the door, John, for Clemson and Michigan here. Ashley Cowan, right-hand side of your screen. She scored a huge 9.95 in the second round. Looks like this is rinse and repeat for her. She remembered to salute. That was a little bit of a drama for her. I'm sure Jay will be happy that she waited for that celebration.
Yeah, in the semifinal round. It might have moved a little quick. Jay wasn't thrilled with it, but still had a smile on his face, and he's got a big one today. There are no smiles in the Stanford Cardinal Corral right now because this is just the second gymnast up too, Sam.
Yeah.
So they have a 9.6 they're going to count, and now a fall. 4 gymnasts to go. They all have to be hits.
Yeah, they do. They really do, and it's unfortunate because Temple got a 9.9 the last second round.
Maggie Holman in the 2 spot for Clemson. One team's troubles, another team's opportunities. Can Clemson take advantage?
Opening with a front double full.
Left hand of your screen. Audrey Sanger follows the Gugino 9.8.
Need to lock in these landings. It was good shapes in the air, but they got to get some sticks for Michigan on vault.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about coming into this rotation, how vault is a lower scoring event. They've done 3 good vaults, but they will not break 9.9s with any of them, and that is why it is a disadvantage. You're going to vault late in the competition, and you need to make up ground. Pack a lunch, because it is not easy to put up 9.9s on that event. Even high 9.8s, Sam.
Maggie finishing combination pass. Hey, the way Clemson is working right now, they are building that momentum. Scores they're hoping that they rise. There's a lot of excitement from their corral.
Maggie Holman, a 9.825 in the semifinal round, trying to build on that here.
The wolf turns will get you doing a double wolf turn. Just totally leaned back and lost her balance. Wasn't able to save it. That is such a tough skill.
Man, I imagine, too, Sam, you kind of feel it coming,
yeah.
I would guess, as you're coming around. You know it, and you're trying to get there as quick as you can. And Temple just couldn't quite handle it. Cowan, a 9.9. Madison Ulrich now in the 3rd spot for LSU. Sienna Robinson with the weight of the collective Cardinal family on her shoulders. Got to get some hits now.
Maddie Ulrich has scored so many 9.9s on this event, really helping LSU not to score below a 49.275 all season long. Not quite as precise as she was in round 2, but if they're cooking like this, it's not really going to matter.
Sienna Robinson tied for the 20th ranking in the country on this event, has a high of a 9.925. Now is the time, Sienna. You got to show that.
And she's such a good beam worker. And for her, it's not about the skills. It's that mental gymnastics that's at play. All of these athletes have done hundreds of these skills. But it's about, can you hit them when you salute, when there's a lot of pressure?
Molly Arnold on floor exercise for Clemson. The senior has been at Clemson for all 3 years of its existence. Came over from Utah State to be part of this new program.
Sienna, left-hand side of your screen. Couldn't have done that beam routine better. They needed someone to really start this excitement over for them.
Audrey Sanger in the third spot for Michigan. You can see that 9.8, a pair of 9.8s for them. Now here comes Ava Jordan.
Doing a Yurchenko full. More controlled landing than round 2. Wasn't feeling well, said she's feeling a lot better today. That always is a good sign. Finishing double back. Chest was a little low on that landing. I saw some legs and feet separation in that first pass, but it was solid from start to finish.
So 3 down for the Clemson Tigers, 3 down for the Stanford Cardinal. 3 down for LSU as well as we wait for Kaylin Chio to bars. We're going to go over to the beam. Now this beam routine in the semifinal round for Levi Young, Ru Evivar did not go good, Sam, an 8.85. You can see it on the screen. Now she's following a Robinson 9.9, and the pressure has just ratcheted up significantly for that athlete. And, of course, right-hand side, Kaylin Chio.
Holding that handstand, right-hand side of your screen. This is the only event that she has not scored a perfect 10 on. If she does, it'll be her first gym slam. Levi, left-hand side of your screen. Good front aerial beat jump. Oh. It's almost like Kaylin falls when she takes a step because it is so unexpected. Unfortunate wobble from Levi. That's the skill that she fell on, so significant improvement there from the second round.
But they have really, Sam, they can't have even wobbles now. They're going to count the 9.6, and they're going to count every wobble that comes after that now because of that 9.075. So critical moment here for Stanford.
Finishing Gainer Pike, not giving anything away on the dismount. But I agree, every routine from here on out still has to be at its best for them to stay in this.
Clemson trying to take advantage of the situation. Tara Walsh now put up a 9.85 in the second round of these regionals.
Really good opening pass, working out of it.
Sophia Diaz, left hand of your screen for Michigan, looking for 2 big ones to finish out.
Hop on that landing. She took 2 big steps out earlier and has the ability to land that so clean. Good, Rudy. When talking to the coaches, this is the event where head coach Liz Crandall-Howell said that they've really improved the most. They got some notes from the judges and implemented that right away, and they can see that showing up in their scoring potential.
Levi Young, Root Edivar, 9-8, so still a good score for her. This is Anna Roberts. They're veteran, one of the top all-arounders in the nation as well. Currently ranked 5th in that discipline.
Open switch leap, split jump. Little bobble right there. That tells me that she's in her head just a little bit.
So a little bit of a lineup change for LSU from the semifinals. This is Haley Mastari, the freshman.
Really good rhythm on the right-hand side of your screen. Another handstand. If she sticks this, you
cursed her, Sam.
I was going to say, if she sticks this, how could you ever pull her out of the bar lineup again? That is beautiful bar work. Anna's doing a good job fighting through. You can see her visibly breathe through this. Saw some wobbles throughout this routine, which at her best, she does not do that.
Holds on.
Yeah, took the words out of my mouth. Big, deep sigh of relief at the end of that one.
That was a big hold. Seems like a little step here early in the meet's not that big a deal, but trust me, it is going to matter. Ella Cesario had some trouble on this event in the regional semifinal. Very uncharacteristic of her following that Walsh 9.85. So all scores above a 9.825 or better. This is playing out well for the Clemson Tigers. Cesaro Ranger, left-handed your screen from Michigan.
Left-hand side, Jazara. Big vault, but big step forward. That looks very similar, actually, to the one that she did in the second round. No 9.9s, but really solid scores in that 9.8 range.
It just gives you, again, an idea of how tough it is to score on vault, which makes what's happening to Stanford on being even more difficult because they should be gaining ground. They should be extending that lead over Michigan, but it's the opposite right now, and they're going to have to go to vault later, and it's going to be the opposite scenario. So a lot of pressure on this last beam routine for the Stanford Cardinal.
Right here for Ella on floor. This is where she had trouble on the second round competition. Looked like she was a little close to the end, but no issues at all today. You know that feels good when you get that redemption moment in gymnastics.
Absolutely. Thrilled. You said it. She's celebrating not just that routine, but she's celebrating the comeback in that semifinal. All right, now this big moment, biggest moment of the meet so far. Anna Barbosu follows a 9.75 from Anna Roberts. You said there were some wobbles that were uncharacteristic. They're going to count that 9.7 and that 9.6. This has got to go 9.9 for Stanford.
Big front tuck, back handspring swing down. Last time Anna was up, she got a 9.925. She's got to do something similar here.
Haley Mastari in the 5 spot for LSU on bars, a 9.875. Solid score. Connor McLean, exquisite on this event.
Beautiful hold for that handstand. Oh, man.
That was a hard fall.
Yeah, that was a hard fall. She's got her fingertips on. Oh, no.
She's holding that elbow, and she's had some arm issues.
Man, she has had some injury issues over the last few years. They've talked about managing her body and knowing how fragile she is. On a left-hand side of your screen, finishing round of double full. It was a really good job from Anna, but will it be enough to keep them in this?
See if we can see what happened. Just a little too far away.
I'm wondering if something in her elbow or shoulder hurt when she caught, because it was far, but it actually looked like she could have held on to that. It's a finger tipper. So, man,
Yeah, impossible to tell what may have happened. But, Sam, you and I have done the sport of gymnastics. Your body gets pulled and pushed in a lot of weird ways. And so we can just hope that she is okay. She is really one of the best gymnasts in the nation. She was a USA champion in 2022. That means the best gymnast out of everybody in the land. And so she has got that pedigree to be a game changer. And we just hope that she is going to be okay.
Does textbook gymnastics, and man, it's also a good thing that they had 5 solid scores before she went.
Bree Clark now in the anchor spot for Clemson.
Scored a 9.95 last time up. And man, she is so fun to watch on this event. Look at this first double layout. Money.
She was the first All-American in Clemson program history. Again, just in their 3rd year, but she was an All-American on this event. And right now, as this meet stands, Bree Clark puts up a 9.85 right here. And hold on to your hats. Clemson will move into 2nd halfway through this competition.
Bree had a lot of pressure on her last time she competed. Not as much here, but it's this triple pass. Gets me every time. So unique, so solid.
And I'm just going to ruin the headline for you, because halfway through this competition, the Clemson Tigers are in an advancing spot. 2 events to go, certainly, but I don't think a lot of people across the country anticipated seeing what's happening right in front of us.
Check this out. 2 flips in a layout position, knows exactly where she is, doesn't even think about moving in the landing, but it's here. Every pass, or every salter rather, was higher than the last, and that is incredibly tough to do on a 2 salto pass, let alone a 3 salto pass.
Ella Cesario, a 9.9 right before her. The LSU Tigers, Connor McLean did not finish that bar routine, but they will still be in the lead. They put up 5 good scores before them. They will count that Kaylin Chio. The lighter shaded scores, if you have not figured it out at home, that is the low score for that team on that event. That means that is the score that they will drop. And Bree Clark, a 9.9. As my analyst would say, that's specifically a outstanding score, and will put Clemson into 2nd right now. Wow.
Man, there's a lot of high moments here in this rotation, and even though LSU is in the lead, you can just see the look on their faces because of how detrimental this is to the rest of postseason if she isn't able to continue the season. She is such an asset for this team, does incredible gymnastics, anchors on bars, textbook work on beam. Now they're going to have to change lineups there, assuming that she's not competing. So it really does change things up for LSU.
Yeah, she is not in the floor lineup, but she was supposed to be in that beam lineup. Wow, the drama is unfolding here in Baton Rouge. Just take my word for it. We're halfway through, and the Clemson Tigers are in 2nd. We are getting ready for our 3rd rotation here in Baton Rouge. After 2, the LSU Tigers are still in the top spot, but they are without one of their stars. Now it looks like Connor McLean. Clemson Tigers, the story of the meet so far, sitting in that 2nd spot, but it is still razor-thin close, 0.25 separating the 2nd to the 4th place team, and that is something you can absolutely come back from. The Clemson Tigers, new coaches, Liz Crandall-Howell and Justin Howell came over from Cal, Sam, where they just had tremendous careers. I affectionately call them, while at Cal, the best program to not have won a national championship. They might want to just bring that moniker with them, because they are doing great things already here at Clemson?
Well, they said they did bring the motto with them, one day better, and they said they're seeing that from their team. Head coach Liz Crandall-Howell right there said that when she saw their authentic reactions when they won ACC championships for the very first time, it was one of her favorite coaching moments. So can you imagine her watching her team advance to the NCAA championships for the first time? That would be an incredible story to this very new Clemson program.
Yeah, co-head coaches are the Howells, and watch out for Clemson in the years to come. They got the first ACC championship in program history as well, the fastest of any Clemson program from inception to a conference title on campus. That is something to be proud of for sure as they get ready to go to the vault and their third rotation. So, Sam, the question I have for you is, we're halfway through this competition. Let's start with Clemson, because it's fun to be the one chasing when the target's on somebody else. But now they've got a mini target on them because they're in that second spot, and all of a sudden the dream, it's right there in their hands. Can they handle the pressure of being in the spot thinking, our dreams could come true, we just got to hit?
I think their rotation order is definitely helpful for them. They're not ending on vault. They're going to vault right now. So I think this next event, in my opinion, is going to be pretty indicative for the rest of the meet. They need to hit those vault landings as solid as they possibly can do that, because we know it's a lower scoring event.
Yeah, one of the highlights for the Clemson Tigers in that last rotation, without a doubt, it was Bree Clark.
She has been so solid, back-to-back 9.95s, opening with double layout, strong landing positions too, but it's this triple pass that is so interesting, unique, hard, difficult. She sells it, and it's been a really good score for them on floor. But then you head to Stanford on beam, and they had so many unfortunate mistakes. This is such a great beam team, and you could just see how the train got off the tracks pretty quickly, where everyone had a little bit more pressure, the next athlete going up, and couldn't quite handle the nerves on balance beam.
Yeah, unfortunate for Stanford. They were in after one rotation. They're in that second spot. They've dropped all the way to fourth, and now they're 2.5 tenths behind that second spot. They're going to need some motivation, Sam, and they got some motivation from kind of a unique spot. They have an honorary captain here at these regional finals. It is Justin Reed, two-time Super Bowl champion, Stanford graduate, now plays for the New Orleans Saints, so he's just down the road. You had a chance to talk to him before the meet.
Yeah, I did. I said, what's your role here in this honorary captain position? He said, I got the easy job today, but he said, I am going to give them the speech I gave my teammates before we won a Super Bowl, and the gist of it was that no one needs to be superhuman. They just got to go out there, be themselves, have a ton of fun, and I hope Stanford's actually remembering that speech right now, because it looks like they were trying a little bit too hard to be better than their best on balance beam. So they need to get back to the basics and just let it happen, be themselves, just like their honorary captain said. He actually grew up not too far from here, and he brought about 20 family members. How cool is that?
I love it. Obviously, Clemson, a big story, but this is the other big story. Connor McLean, not sure what the injury is. Obviously, we're not going to speculate. It did look like she was holding her arm there as she came off, but we can just hope that it is nothing serious, because they absolutely need her, in particular, Sam, on bars and beam, which is their next event.
Yeah, I mean, she could go 10 on both of those events, certainly a 9.9 plus almost every single time she goes up, so this really does hurt LSU.
Yeah, Connor has battled a lot of injuries throughout her career as well, and doing great gymnastics is almost the easy part for her. Just staying healthy has always been the challenge. So, again, here's where we're at after the second rotation. LSU is still comfortable in that first spot. The Connor McLean injury, you know, if they hit, they're going to be just fine. But the drama's unfolding right behind them. Clemson in second. Clemson is now going to vault. And we talked about it earlier. If Stanford, in particular, wants to get back in this, they are 2.5 tenths behind Clemson currently. They better close that gap now, because they finished this competition on vault, and you don't want to be chasing anybody when you're going to vault. You want to be in that spot. So a lot of work for Stanford to do. Michigan, on the other hand, they've got some good bars. Yeah, 15th ranked in the nation, but I think they can show higher than that on that event, Sam.
Yeah, they got a 49.15 at the last meet. Had some good saves is what I'm going to call them. So they really do have the ability to improve here. Top right of your screen, Michigan on bars. So look out for those handstands and those solid dismounts from Michigan.
Bree Clark right off the floor. And, hey, why don't you just lead us off on vault while you're at it? Second round, she put up a 9.9. That would be exactly what Clemson needs. They've got to stick some vaults here to try to break that 9.9 barrier.
And this is so interesting. Co-head coach Justin Howell told us that she actually learned this vault in the preseason. It's a layout Kazamatsu. Really difficult. She stuck it cold in round 2, but that was still a pretty clean landing.
So good start for Clemson there. We'll be on stick watch for the Clemson Tigers. They will want to stick a few of those vaults. Ava Jordan in a leadoff spot for Michigan. Associate head coach Scott Sherman, he is the bar guru for Michigan. And I tell you what, yeah, 15th ranked in the nation, but they are capable of being really, in my opinion, one of the top 10 teams in the country on this event. But you got to hit, you got to hit clean. They've got tremendous swingers. Kylie Cohen for the LSU Tigers leading things off there on beam.
Yeah, really important left-hand side of your screen that Kylie Cohen hits a solid set, not just for their overall score, but to get them in a good position since they do have a lineup change now that Connor is out on balance beam. Right-hand side of your screen, Ava does a nice Jaeger perfectly back up to that handstand position. She wasn't in this bar lineup during the second round because she wasn't feeling well. I know it was a huge bummer for her. She's excited to be back here, said she's feeling much better, and way to get things started for Michigan on bars. I've been so impressed with Kylie's consistency over the course of this year. The way that she's able to just have ice in her veins every single time. That leadoff position is tough, man.
Courtney McCool-Griffith, associate head coach there with the big hug. Watch out for those Courtney McCool hugs because they can be violent. Sienna Robinson leading off for the Stanford Cardinal.
Opens double back.
Madison Minner on vault. ACC champion on this event. Following a 9.825 from Brie Clark.
Doing a tuck 1.5. It's a tough vault to make look good, and she does it. Usually a tuck shape is not very pretty, and Madison is so nice to look at.
This will be very interesting, too. If you're at home, watch the score tower on your right. You know Stanford, the bottom of the score tower, is trying to catch Clemson at the top of your score tower. They're down by 0.25. You do the math at home. Follow each gymnast score as you go through. You'll get an idea if they're closing the gap or not.
Third pass for Sienna. Good double pike, hanging on to that landing. Nicely done. You can't make up scores in gymnastics, so certainly Stanford shouldn't try to do that, but they do really need to be at their best on floor right here.
Kylie Cohen for the Tigers. Came off some adversity with that Connor McLean injury on bars, and look what she does. All she does is go up and lead off with a 9.9, and then you get Lexi Zeiss. She's only a sophomore, but man, she acts like a veteran.
This is where good side aerial. She had some trouble in round 2 with her series connection right here.
Billy Clapper, right hand of your screen on bars for Michigan.
A little slow on that connection, left-hand side of your screen, but I think they'll still give it to her because her arms continue to move. Probably just a half-tenth of deduction right there.
Reminder, Michigan behind 0.125 behind Clemson, so just a little over a tenth they got to make up on the Tigers.
She stuck it on round 2. Oh, one step there on the dismount. It's those little things that do add up.
And again, when you're behind by just over a tenth, that 1/10 step, those are going to be the critical things down the stretch.
LSU's coach, Courtney McCool-Griffith, told me that her and Lexi talk about keeping the train on the tracks. to stay centered on the beam. That's what she reminded her to hit this beam routine. And I think it worked. That was a good set.
Head coach Jay Clark there on the sidelines with his cup that he always chews on during beam. Guess he gets a little nervous. Alana Walker follows Sienna Robinson's 9.775. Feels like those are not going to help the Cardinal. Maggie Holman follows Madison Minner's 9.85.
Handspring front pike half. Good execution in the air. Step on the landing. I do have to give it to Clemson. They have such a wide variety of vaults, which is really cool. I love watching them. Front tap to double back. This should be a good score for Stanford.
They need a big one right there. Right now, I want to bring in our rules analyst. It's a new addition to our team. We're very happy to have Mary Jo Rohrig with us. She is a 30-year judge, 20 years judging collegiate gymnastics. The thing that we keep talking about, Mary Jo, are landings. And the thing I've learned is not all landings are created equal. Give us a kind of an insight on what the judges are looking for and what that range can be in deductions they might take.
Correct. Hi, guys. We have a small, medium, and large step categories. We can have anywhere from 0.05 up to 0.2. And if they take 0.4, they're going to get 0.4 off. We also have another category, uncontrolled landings. While they might take a step to the back, to the side, they might lose their upper body position, drop some arms, have some other uncontrollable movements.
So it sounds like that. Just a straight step can be anywhere from 0.5 to up to 0.2.
Correct.
So that is quite a range. As we see Amari Drayton, left hand of your screen, right hand of your screen, Sophia Diaz.
Sophia Diaz is so clean on bars, finishing. Oh, arm circle at the end here. Sophia, double layout. I thought she got a slightly underscored on round 2.
Yeah, she smoked that bar routine in round 2. I think both of you and I thought that should have been a little bit higher. Lily Clapper, 9.775. So Michigan and Stanford both have 9.775s up on the board. However, look at that, Alana Walker, 9.9. That is exactly what they need. Meanwhile, over on vault, no 9.9s yet, but very solid scores, all in the 9.8s, mid 9.8s. Now Ella Cesario, can she build on that? Can they sneak in a couple 9.9s? That would be huge.
Doing a Yurchenko layout full, max value is a 9.95, but that is so good. They needed a stuck landing there.
I'll tell you what, Clemson on vault. We talked about how you just try to hold serve on vault. They might add points to their lead the way it's going.
Yeah.
Stanford on floor. Terrelyn Wynn trying to build on that 9.9 from Walker.
Look at this double layout, first pass. Did you see how that rose above? Second flip was higher than the first flip. That was amazing.
Like a toothpick in a club sandwich, Sam, right into that mat.
Hey, if this is the trend for Stanford, scores will definitely be building, and they needed to get a little bit more of an advantage here.
Ella Cesario, top of the score tower. 9.9 for Clemson. Kalia Lincoln, left hand of your screen. They're rolling through this beam rotation. 9.825 for Drayton, 9.85 for Zeiss.
Kalia, front aerial, back handspring series. Strong finish. Caroline quickly, last pass, combination pass. Yeah, this has got to go 9-9, 9-9 plus for Stanford, and they needed that. Every half-tenth counts for them right now.
And what about LSU? .275, they were ahead of the third-place team, Michigan. So that is a good lead. I don't think comfortable, especially if you ask the LSU Tigers. They want more, but so far they are doing just fine to stay certainly in that top two. Sophia Diaz, 9.875. One of the judges gave her a 9.9, or at least a couple might have. Audrey Sanger now in the 4th spot.
Leakin finishing, little hop on the dismount. I've seen her do better, but I think it's still going to be a good score for LSU that maybe they'll end up counting. Last meet, she got a 9.8, rushing those handstands a bit. And the hop on the dismount. They want those scores to keep building. Not sure it will with Audrey's score.
Tara Walsh now following that Cesario 9.9. Clemson putting these last two athletes in a great spot to go big.
Yurchenko 1.5. Wow.
Pretty good.
Very clean. Got a 9.775 in the second round. Definitely is going to be a higher score. Man, they are rolling on vault.
Stanford on floor, though, back-to-back 9.9. Sam thought it might have even gone higher than 9.9 for a win, but still two tremendous scores. Now Levi Young, Ru Ivivar is also on the balance beam. Had a wobble there, and this is the time. No wobbles allowed if you're Stanford.
A wobble on floor really is just an uncontrolled landing. So look out for that. She does whips right here. Whip, double back. Really unique, and that's what we call a perfect stick. Definitely, certainly not a wobble on that first tumbling pass.
Madison Ulrich, next up on balance beam, has only done beam 3 times this season. She is the athlete that is in for Connor McLean, who was out injured, unsure of the injury, but Madison Ulrich certainly capable. She's a 3-time All-American gymnast with Denver. Transferred to LSU.
You know, earlier in the year, LSU's head coach Jay Clark called Madison the stabilizer, and he didn't know how true those words were going to be until they needed her in this moment. Beautiful routine from Levi, right-hand side of your screen. Such breathtaking artistry throughout that routine. I love the choreography there. You can see her eyes glued to the end of the beam. Really strong arm movements there. Sharp landings.
You can see right hand of your screen. Obviously, Stanford scores a little behind Clemson's. They have 5 in.
Small hop on the landing. But nicely done. Man, for not competing too many times, she looked confident up there.
Yeah, Stanford's got 2 9.9s, matching the 2 9.9s from Clemson on vault. Here's Carly Bauman looking for the first 9.9 in this bar rotation for Michigan. Wow.
Big straddle release move way above the bar. I think you could count a few seconds before she even caught. That is beautiful. Rushed that handstand. That was a little awkward on top of the bar. But picks up the rhythm, no problem. Man, those steps are really hurting their scores.
Yeah, they need some stuck landings on here because they're also trying to chase Clemson. Here's Paige Anastasi in the anchor spot after 2 9.9s.
Big hop back and another step, so that might be the score they're going to end up dropping, but still 2 9.9s in the vault lineup. Those are tough to come by.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Tiger team and coaching staff will be very happy with that vault rotation. Now, floor for Stanford, 3 9-9s in a row. They got a slow start from Robinson, and you're thinking, uh-oh, the train might be off the tracks. Now you get Anna Roberts taking the floor, and Anna Roberts has been perfect on this event. She's gotten a 10 this season. How about that? Would that be some drama right now?
Open front tuck to double back.
Caitlin Chio, left hand of your screen, mounting the balance beam in the anchor spot. Ulrich right before her, a 9.825.
Left hand side of your screen, Caitlin does back handspring layout. She just floats to the beam. Also has really good rhythm. You can see her full turn and dancing right out of it.
At one point this season, Caitlin had 4 out of 5 score stretch where they were all 10s. 5 total on this event.
Really nice routine from Anna. Little small stumble on the landing first pass. But other than that, man, they are cooking on floor. Caitlin's got that look in her eye. She wants another 10. She actually had an unfortunate and uncharacteristic step on this dismount right here. I don't think she's going to make that mistake again.
Nope. No chance that happens twice, Sam.
She told me she'd rather wobble on the beam than take a step on the dismount. Courtney McCool-Griffith right there said, man, she was so mad. That's what makes her so great.
So Michigan on bars might be in a little trouble of their own. Still haven't broken a 9-9, and they're counting a 9-7-7-5. We see the scores from Clemson right above them. That's the team they're chasing down. Got to go big here.
Huge release move. Unfortunately caught too close to the bar. Most likely a 2/10 deduction for that arm bend. They want to be able to drop that 9-7-5, so can she better that score? Got to stick to dismount. Really nice double layout. Spot the landing.
If you can hear, we got some cheers and some boos in the background. We'll tell you why in a moment.
Yeah, look at those elbows. You can just see they're really bent. That tells me she was playing it safe, trying to catch the bar. Didn't want to miss that one. But the result of that is probably a 2/10 or more deduction.
So the cheers in the background were for Caitlin Chio. 2 judges gave her a 10. The boos were for the 2 judges that gave her a 9.95. That's why she ended up with a 9.975. Now on floor exercise, Anna Barbosu in the anchor spot. Anna Roberts a 9.9. Barbosu with a 9.95 right here will tie Clemson for the 2nd spot. How good is Barbosu? She is Olympic bronze medalist on this event. She's good.
Well, to add to that, she got a 9.95. Last time she competed this floor routine. Whip double back, perfectly placed on the floor. Stanford head coach Tabitha Yim said, you know, sometimes we do a good job at settling into landings, and sometimes we get a little excited, but what we've noticed from this Stanford team today is they show their excitement in other ways, because we've seen great controlled landings top to bottom from them so far. Small little hop, half 10th most likely.
Yeah, that little hop looked like one she didn't need, Sam. Could have stepped out of it, it looked like.
And remember, she's just a freshman, so all of those little finessing tricks come with experience in college gymnastics. Let me tell you, it's still going to be a very good score for Anna.
Yeah, it feels like one that would be hard-pressed to go below a 9.9. The question is, will the judges give her the 9.95 that would tie them with Clemson after the third rotation. Wow, we are just ping-ponging back and forth with these second through fourth place teams.
Here's that last pass, combination pass, finishes front pike. Just that small little hop forward that I agree with you, John. She could have probably danced out of it, and I'm sure she's thinking that as well. Like, I should have done that. Easier for us to say when we're watching in slow motion, but job well done for Stanford on floor. They needed a strong rotation.
Some words from the coaching staff to the Stanford Cardinal. Anna Barbosu with a 9.95. Anna delivers, and we've got a tie for second and third, and now it's Michigan that is in a fight for their postseason lives. 0.325 behind that second place team, LSU. They're still holding on to the top spot. Clemson feeling it. Can the Tigers surprise the nation and make it to the NCAA championships? There's all smiles, serious faces on the Wolverines. They've got some work to do. The home team, they're still rolling.
That is so good. They needed Stanford is the team. They are the standard here in the ACC.
California has led all the way, but it's getting closer and closer. But in this fourth and final rotation, California will go to vault, where the scores have been tighter.
Can she get the stick? What a finish for Clemson.
Here is Anna Barbosu, final competitor of the night. She needs a 10 for Stanford to win. The score comes in at 9-9-5. What a thriller in the final rotation. Clemson wins the 2026 ACC Championship.
That was the drama that unfolded at the ACC Championships when Clemson won it. The event that they clinched that title on was the uneven bars. The event that they're going to next, the uneven bars. Stanford, Clemson went toe-to-toe then, and it looks like they're going to go toe-to-toe right now for a chance at the NCAA championships. My goodness, you could not ask for anything more as the clock ticks down to this fourth and final rotation. Well, the regional finals continue. Tempe Regional later tonight, 8 Eastern time. Then tomorrow we got a couple. 5 Eastern time from Lexington, and then 8 Eastern time for the Corvallis Regional. For more information, visit NCAA.com. And for all the home for all of your NCAA championships, that would be NCAA.com. Man, Sam. Woo, this is good. Hey, we wanted it. We're getting it.
You wanted some drama. Here we got tied going into the last rotation. I think Clemson has the advantage, though, because they're finishing on bars. They've done this rotation before. Stanford has to be perfect on vault, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've got to stick some vaults, land clean. Clemson did it in the last rotation. Can the Stanford Cardinals do it? Let's look back at that last rotation. Here's what some of the vaults look like for the Tigers.
Ella Cesario got that really nice stick, soaking into the mat, absorbing it well. Then Tara Walsh with the 1.5. Good body position, hop in the right direction. That's what helps that 9-9 score. Then Anna Barbosu, 9.95. She was just as good as she was round 2. Probably would have been a 10.0 if she didn't do that little hop right there. But man, Stanford, such a strong comeback in an event that they really needed to shine.
So here's how we got to this point. LSU has been wire to wire. They still have a decent lead, 0.275, almost 0.3 over that third place team, but they're going to their best event, an event they're ranked number 1 in the nation. So let's assume they're comfortable. But after that, Stanford and Clemson obviously tied. Michigan not totally out of it, but they've got some work to do. They're 0.325 behind that second place team. But, Sam, they go to their best event, the balance beam, where they're really going to have to deliver. Let's look at some of the history here of these teams. LSU, they've been to 34 national championships. Stanford 17, Michigan 25. Obviously, Clemson, they're only 3 years old. This would be a first for them. That's something big at stake.
Yeah, first time winning ACC championships, and if they can get this national championship berth, man, I can just imagine the look on co-head coach Liz and Justin Howell's faces. It's going to be a special moment for them.
Yeah, Michigan won the championship in 2021. LSU won it in 2024. Stanford has never won it. Here is where everyone will be. Stanford on vault, Clemson on bars, as we mentioned, Michigan to the beam, LSU on the floor exercise. And this will be fun. You can watch your score tower on the right hand of your screen. We're going to get Stanford's vaults going against Clemson's bars, and then keep in mind, just watch those Michigan beams. If they can put up some big numbers, that will put some pressure on the top two teams.
Well, interestingly enough, earlier this year, Stanford put up a 49-6 on vault. That's their highest score. However, it's an inconsistent event for them, whereas Clemson on bars, they've only gone 49-4-5. That's really been their ceiling. So everyone's got to be at their best tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing about vault. If you get on a roll and you can stick 2 or 3, or, you know, like we saw Nebraska in round 1 of this regional, stick 4 vaults in one rotation, then you can start to put up big numbers. But a step on vault so often becomes, like Mary Jo was saying, becomes that 2/10 step. It's easy with that much speed and power and momentum. A half-tenth turns into a tenth. You know, a half-tenth on one event might be 2/10 here. So we will see how they handle it. Levi Young, Ru Evivar leading things off for the Cardinal.
Doing a Yurchenko full arm circle, but gets the stuck landing, probably chest down. A little bit of deduction for that as well.
Lily Lippett, the big leadoff athlete for the Clemson Tigers, just does it again here on bars.
Nice, good first handstand, caught a little close on that first release, but I like how aggressive she works those handstands to vertical. And they got to get these landings.
There you go.
She does it. And you can see, look at her face. She was like, I knew I was going to stick that.
So out of the gate, Stanford and Clemson both with stuck landings on their respective events. Sophie Parenti now for the Michigan Wolverines. .325 behind the teams tied for second currently. Every routine matters. At the opening meet of the season, they put up a program high on this event of a 49.65. That is exactly what the doctor ordered here for them.
But they're a really good beam team. We did not see that in the second round. Good back handspring layout, but they started on beam. Right now they're ending on beam. I'm thinking that they've settled into the competition by now.
LSU Tigers on floor exercise. Emily Innes will get things going for them. They had an outstanding, almost a season-high score on the floor exercise in the semifinal round of this regional.
Opens for handspring double full, right-hand side of your screen. Quickly, left-hand side of your screen, just the dismount, 1.5. Sucks the landing. That's good. That is good.
The Easter Bunny's not going to deliver a basket of 9.9s. If you're Michigan, you got to do just what Parenti did right there. You got to stick the landing.
Mistake from Emily Ennis on floor. Looks like she missed the punch on her popo, which is a straddle full. Oh, a little off balance on that last pass as well. She's that athlete that can go 9-9 in this leadoff spot. Don't think she'll get that score tonight.
Anna Barbosu in the 2 spot. A 9-8 through Ru Evivar. Got to go bigger than that.
Scoop full, great controlled landing. Probably half-tenth for that landing deduction.
You can see the first 2 scores for Stanford and Clemson, respectively. Advantage Clemson with that 9.875.
Look at this leap combination. You got to get it all the way around, and it looks like her arms just got lost in the air. Couldn't quite help her get that rotation.
Hannah Clark now the second gymnast to go. We saw Barbosu's vault, the second gymnast for Stanford. Can Clark match that performance?
Good Pike Jaeger, little foot wiggle for that overshoot.
Quincy Walters for Michigan on beam, 9.85.
Hannah Clark with the hop and slightly bent knees throughout that routine.
985 for Parenti in the leadoff spot for Michigan. Walters following.
Front toss, back handspring series. Quincy's just a freshman. I have been so impressed with her this year. She has this poise about her that makes it look like she's not a freshman. She's really aggressive, doesn't show nerves. Good, strong arm positions. Kind of smiling her way through this. It's really a veteran move.
So Emily Innes in that leadoff spot got a 985, Sam. I'm guessing you might think that's a little high. She got away with that leap combination. Here's Nina Ballou for LSU. She flies on this first pass.
And Quincy, left-hand side of your screen, stuck that dismount. That's going to be a really big score for Michigan. Watch that. Oh, she normally sticks that. It's not a deduction to take a step back and lunge, but it is a deduction if the judges don't think she's in control when she steps back.
Summer Gronsky, the third vaulter to go, 9.875 for Barbosu. That's a big vault score.
Just doing a Yurchenko layup full. Just the hop. You see her chest was vertical. That's the good news. She definitely won't get that chest down deduction, and she liked it.
Score tower on your right, Clemson, Stanford, both with two gymnasts completed, both with identical scores, a 9.8 and a 9.875 for each. Still tied.
Nina getting that landing solid. You know, she's just a freshman too, and when you compete in the developmental level, you don't compete multiple times in one weekend. So just a reminder, they competed 2 days ago. That is really tough, not only physically, but also mentally.
Well, getting you ready, if you make the NCAA championships and you want to make the finals, you're going to have to do 2 competitions in the same type of format they have here, so maybe getting themselves ready for that run. If they can continue just to do what they've been doing, they will advance. The drama unfolding behind them, though. Peyton Davis follows a 9.875 from Walter, so slight advantage if you're looking at the first 2 gymnasts for Michigan, Clemson, and Stanford. Slight advantage for Michigan, but not much. They got a lot more to make up. Emma Maluski on the uneven bars for Clemson.
Clean combination. That pirouette was a little out of vertical range.
Uh-oh. Wobble on the left side of your screen.
Finishing double back right-hand side of your screen. Stuck landing there. Clemson's on a roll.
I'll tell you what, Clemson is doing exactly what they need to do. Hit clean routines and stick your landings. That's all you can ask for.
Michigan needs to have the let's not hold back mindset. They have to be so aggressive here. Lights out. Because of this wobble from Peyton Davis, this is going to be the score they're going to have to drop. Finishing back handspring, gainer full off the side. It's such a bummer when the rest of her routine was so solid.
And keep in mind, Michigan was 0.325 behind Clemson and Stanford. So they're not just chasing one team, they're chasing 2. They're hoping that they'll both just give them a little crack in the door that they can step through. Kylie Cohen follows a pair of 9.85s for LSU.
Opens front handspring double full.
Ui Soma, the fourth vaulter to go, 9.85 for Gronsky. Again, a very good score. If they stick a couple of these down the stretch, that could be enough for the Cardinals.
She's doing a Yurchenko full.
Oh, not good.
Big hop. That's most likely a 2/10 hop because of how far it traveled.
Mary Jo, our rules analyst, gave you a thumbs up on that 2/10 off. That leaves 2 vaulters for Stanford. They've got to land better than that.
Front layout, front full. Usually LSU is so precise on these landings, and all of them seem a little bit uneasy when they land.
You see that Emma Maluski score for Clemson on bars. It said 9.975. That was incorrect. 9.875, which is still a very good score. Compare it to Summer Gronsky's vault score for Stanford of a 9.85. Slight advantage to Clemson. Uisoma with a 9.775. Stanford up against the wall now with 2 vaulters yet to go. Jazara Ranger and Michigan also up against the wall. Peyton Davis with a 9.775. The cards are falling in favor of the Tigers. Can they get it done?
Starting series. That handspring layout. Oh, wow. Almost stepped off the beam, so she really did save herself a fall there. Left-hand side of your screen.
Dakota Berry, right hand of your screen for Clemson. Their 4th gymnast to go. Stanford already has 4 in the books.
This is smooth from Dakota Berry, right hand side of your screen. Slight leg separation on those release combinations. Hop on the dismount, man. I think if either of these teams have some solid sticks, we would start to see the writing on the wall, but it's those little deductions throughout the routines that I'm really not sure what the judges are going to do. There's that Maloney pack salto. Couldn't really see her leg separation from that vantage point, which is actually what the judges see.
Oh my heavens, it is playing out with all the drama. Amari Drayton, the 4th gymnast to go for LSU, 9.875 in the second round. 9.875 for Kylie Cohen in the second round. Amari Drayton went much bigger than that. Anna Roberts, left hand of your screen. It almost feels like this is the time you gotta stick. She has stuck this season. She's gone perfect on this event.
She's gone perfect twice. Yurchenko 1.5.
Almost. She went for it, Sam. She wanted it.
And that automatic 1/10 for the under rotation on vault is really gonna hurt her score, because in the air she has such a nice body shape, legs glued together.
If that is a 1/10 under rotation and a 0.5 step, she's looking at a 9.85. Dakota Berry just put up a 9.8. Keep in mind, Stanford's going to want to drop that 9.775. If they end up counting that, this meet's over. So this is still just so razor-thin close.
Amari scored 9.95 last time she did this floor routine, and this looks pretty identical. She's been having a good postseason.
Crowd is loving it for LSU. Here's a look at this vault, Sam.
Yeah, let's bring our rules analyst, Mary Jo, in here. What do you see on that landing?
I definitely saw the under rotation plus a full 10th worth of a step. So, you know, you could do the math on that.
So you're thinking that's a 10th step. Well, the judges out on the floor apparently thought that was a half 10th step. They gave her a 9.85, one of those gray areas.
Well, again, I get to see it 3 times and in slow motion. They get to see it for a half a second.
Because it did look like a half 10th step initially.
When we saw it the first time, but now that we watch it again, it could be a full 10th, yeah.
I agree with you. Now all the pressure on Ella Cesario.
Big straddle Jaeger, but caught really close to the bar. Good handstand. She's just one of 2 gymnasts in the ACC, ranked top 15 on all 4 events.
Wow, what a moment for Ella Cesario, trying to keep her collegiate career alive.
Yeah, look at those arm bend right there. That's probably a 10th and a half the judges could take. But again, she finessed it. It didn't affect her rhythm, so no additional deductions after that.
Ella Cesario, a senior, trying to keep that career alive for her team and for herself. Now Kaylin Chio on the floor exercise. She leaps tall buildings in a single bound. She can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. You got to think she's just going to roll through this floor routine. And LSU is going to advance. Over on the left side, Terrelyn Wynn. 9.85 for Anna Roberts. Ella Cesario, I'm told, a 9.9. This better be a big vault.
Terrelyn scored a 9.95 last time she vaulted.
Oh, boy!
It looks like that when she got a 9.95 just a couple of days ago. Stanford's going crazy. And Kaylin's got her game face on. She is not smiling till her job is done. We talk about the gymnastics version of an assist, and Amari Drayton scored a 9.95 right before Kaylin goes. She got a perfect 10 on this routine last time she competed just 2 days ago. We talk about how the judges don't get to see it in slow motion, but when you hold your finish like that, it really shows the judge how controlled you are when you land.
Kaylin Chio just doing Kaylin Chio things.
I just heard our rules analyst mouth, that was good.
Now the drama. It all comes down to Quinn Cool. Terrelyn Wynn, a 9.95 for that vault. Cool needs a 9.9 for Clemson to beat Stanford in advance. She anchored the bar rotation at SECs. She got it done there. Can she do it again?
This is going to be so close. She's been tested so many times this year. Coaches said there was no one they would rather trust in those moments. She's got to get this stick.
Oh, no! A step and an arm swing. Mary Jo, let's bring in Mary Jo. It's got to be a 9.9. That feels like it's not going to happen. Thoughts?
We had a chest down, we had an arm swing, and we had a little hop in there. So it could be a 10th and a half. It could be a total of 2 tenths for all the deductions on that landing.
Oh, man.
And a little shy of a couple of her handstands.
A 9.875, keep in mind, would be a tie between Clemson and Stanford.
Everyone's nervous. You can hear a pin drop in this arena right now.
Close to 300 routines competed by these teams all season. And when it comes down to the end, when your season is on the line and you're trying to live for another day, it comes down to one bar dismount and one landing, and whether the judges think the arm swing and a hop is 2 tenths or a 10th and a half or 1 to see if your season will live for another day. That is what we're watching right now.
You know they're going through every routine in their head.
And Stanford sees the score. Quinn Cool, a 9.75. Stanford will advance, and the dream for Clemson comes to an end. Wow, here's Kalia Lincoln, big time double layout to open.
This is just a victory lap because you can see the scores right-hand side of your screen. LSU already has that top score. They know they're advancing.
Justin Reed in the 10 box, the 10 watch box there. He is celebrating with the team. The honorary captain is undefeated in his role.
Hey, they might need to fly him to NCAAs because I think that speech did wonders. Leah finishing. Good combination pass. LSU did their job. We're looking at two teams that are on their way to Fort Worth.
Chance of LSU ring out through the PMAC. The hometown crowd is loving it. LSU gets the job that everyone expected them to do. They get it done. But wow, did the drama unfold between second and third. Michigan, unfortunately, was out of it halfway through that beam rotation. Oh, and the cheers in the crowd. The excitement is not over. It is a 10 for Kalia Lincoln.
She didn't even need to do that floor routine. First of her career. I'm actually surprised by that because I've seen her do some really fantastic floor routines over the years.
That's what you call putting an exclamation point on that LSU performance. They put up a big score, over 198, in the semifinal round of this regional. Didn't break that 198. If they want to win the national championship, they're going to have to break 198. But today, it wasn't about winning. It was about being in the top two. LSU got it done, and so did Stanford. Clemson, .075.
That's less than one step, John, on a landing.
Tell you what, I lost a national championship as a freshman by 1/10. And I relived every form break I had, every step on a landing that I had, and it is so tough when you travel this journey with your family, with your team, to come so close. And we can see Clemson, a lot of tears over there in that corral, but what a season they had.
I was just going to say there's so much for them to be proud of. They broke records this year, and it's only their third year in existence, and you could just see how strong the foundation is and great things to come. We saw good gymnastics. We saw great fight from start to finish, and man, I'm scared of Clemson coming in the next couple years.
You took the words right out of my mouth. The rest of the country better watch out.
Yeah.
We saw what Justin and Liz did at Cal, and this Clemson program has got some serious momentum behind it in just their third season. So Stanford, LSU, the top two seeds in this region, they get it done. It was not easy. Even LSU had some challenges. We hope Connor McLean is doing all right, and she'll be back hopefully for the NCAA championships because they are going to be there. There are some individual qualifiers that qualified by virtue of their performance in the semifinal round. Those individual qualifiers obviously not part of the LSU or the Stanford team. It's basically the highest finisher on an event or in the all-around after those two teams. So here's what it looks like. A couple of Michigan Wolverines. Bree Clark from Clemson, Gwen Fink from North Carolina, and hey, how about Maggie Slife, the sentimental favorite, I think, for Sam and I out of Air Force. She is a tremendous all-arounder. Maybe she can capture some magic, Sam, at the NCAA championships and maybe get a title there.
Yeah, I really I love watching her compete, so can't wait to see her one more time at NCAA championships.
Oh, and the gratification. Never have they enjoyed putting a sticker on something more than since maybe they were in kindergarten. Stanford Cardinal get to put up the big Stanford sticker. And look at how careful they're doing it. They don't want any wrinkles in that thing. They want everybody to read it loud and clear. Yes, you are going to the national championship.
And they should be celebrating that fight back, that comeback in the fight from them on the last two events. I think both of us might have thought it was impossible, and they just kept chipping away routine after routine to gain those tenths back and earn a trip to Fort Worth.
And I think both Stanford and Clemson showed us something on vault. We expected vault to really be a low-scoring event, but both of those teams really, they showed something there, and they held serve and maybe even gained some ground. Well, we know Stanford did. They got enough there to overcome Clemson.
And look at that honorary captain. He's really part of the team now.
He's not missing a moment. I wouldn't either. So we will see. It's going to be fun to see what Stanford can do. That 197.225, bottom right of your screen, their team total again. Going to want to do better if they want to make it to the finals at NCAA championships. Well, LSU, they've won a national championship. It was a couple years ago. However, last year, according to Jay Clark and his words, they sleptwalked through the semifinals, and they did not get an opportunity to defend that title in the NCAA championship finals a year ago. Can they learn from that? And can they improve this year, not just make the semifinals? Because you know there is no doubt about it. They're not going there just happy they made the semifinals. They have eyes on a national championship, no doubt about it.
They do, and I think when you evaluate the skill level, the experience level of this LSU team, the question is, do they have what it takes to win the national championship? Many people think that they do. They've got those big skills. They've really honed in on the landings, on the execution, but can they do their best when their best is needed? And that's the question we're going to answer in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like there's three teams people, fans across the country think have the talent on their roster to win, and favorites, if you will, the Florida Gators, Oklahoma Sooners, and LSU Tigers certainly in that mix. But there's some other teams that have shown today that they have what it takes to do great things in this sport. And one of them is the head coach for the Stanford Cardinal, Tabitha Yim. Tabitha, what a job you guys did today. Can you believe what we just saw?
Man, that's what we live for, right? That's why we're in sports. Comes down to those big moments. And I just want to shout out all the incredible teams that were on the floor today. It was such an honor to be on the floor with such amazing programs, amazing coaches. Definitely got my heart going there all the way until the very end. But to see the team step up the way that they did, we're just so proud of them, so proud of what the staff has done. It takes a village to do what we do. And so just so grateful, so proud, and glad that it's over.
I'm sure.
Can you walk us through the emotional roller coaster that we all felt watching you guys? First on beam, not what you wanted to see from your athletes on beam, and then, of course, their comeback on the next two events.
Yeah, all season we've been really focusing on having a growth mindset. And the words that we've talked about are we're going to be chill, we're going to be connected, we're going to stay curious, we're going to compete, fight for every single tenth, and we're going to celebrate the performances that we're doing. And I think even in the highest of highs or the lowest of lows, we have to stay grounded in what we do in our playbook and our mentality. And I give the athletes a lot of credit because it was shake and bake up there a little bit. But they stepped up, they handled it, and then the way they responded on the last two events, I think showed the confidence that they have in each other, how connected they were, and that they wanted to come out here and compete.
Tabitha, you broke your own rule. You can't tell me you were chill at the end of that comp. That was not, you couldn't have been chill.
No, I'll own up to it.
Hey, well,
I was definitely feeling it. But I think they did a really good job of staying composed and, like, bringing the energy. And I think it would have been really easy for them to hang their heads. But, man, every single person on the team, they believed that we could get it done. And they knew it would come down to the very last routine. And so proud. And our coaching staff, Vince, Hallie, Caleb, man,
well,
I
good job.
have no words. So.
Congratulations. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on today. More importantly, good luck at the NCAA championships.
We'll
You're
see
going to
you
the
in
semifinals.
Dallas, baby. Let's go, Card!
Excellent job from the Stanford Cardinal, and the clinching vault for their team came right at the end. Obviously, it was Carolyn Wynn with this big-time vault, Sam.
She needed to repeat the same vault from round two, and she did. That is so difficult to do this vault and execute at a high level, 2 meets in a row. But then it was Kalia Lincoln that was surprising a highlight, not because she is not so incredible, but because she got a perfect 10, and LSU didn't even need her score to advance. She was just having fun on her playground right here. But to get her first career 10 on floor, that's a good feeling for LSU to finish on. But it started strong, too, with Kaylin Shio, another perfect 10 on this incredible Yurchenko 1.5 vault. So 2 more 10s for LSU in this meet.
Yeah, some big-time highlights for the LSU Tigers. They get it done. Everyone expected them to get it done. We are joined by the head coach of the LSU Tigers, Jay Clark. And Jay, I saw you walking over here, and it wasn't exuberance and joy, and I have a feeling I might know why. Give us an update on Connor McLean.
Well, we won't know a whole lot until we can, get a scan and everything. She's been struggling with some shoulder/elbow stuff. It presents kind of as nerve pain, and hopefully she stretched the nerve and there was no structural damage. It doesn't appear that way at this point, but we won't know until we get a good scan and know. But either way, there's just not a lot of time to come back from something like that, and so we'll see. We'll see. It's just, it's disappointing, but I was proud of the way the kids responded after she went down and the way they fought.
You had to change up the lineup on beam, which is a really important event, really nerve-wracking event. What did you see from your team and how they rebounded on that next event?
Well, Maddie Ulrich's a great competitor. People forget that was the 6th best all-arounder in the country last year at the national championship. So we were confident that Maddie would go in there and do a good job. You never know if the whole team's going to be rattled when something like that happens, and you just try to calm them down and get them to kind of recenter. We were not ourselves, even in warm-ups. Today we were a little flat. I don't know if it was fatigue or just, the energy of the second day. It just we were not on point the way we were on Thursday, and still were able to put together a pretty good day. So, we'll learn from it. We'll regroup. Main thing, we'll get a couple of days of rest right now and try to move on.
You earned an opportunity to compete at the national championship. It's still more work to do. So what's the message to the team heading to Fort Worth?
Well, the message is the same. I mean, we can't do more than what we've been doing. We really can't train them any less because we've got to keep moving in the right direction, but we also can't do any more from a physical standpoint. So really it's just about being dialed in between the ears and every single thing that we do, making it count, being efficient with what we're doing, staying into each other throughout and providing the energy that they need. It's a long year. Every team in the country is tired right now. And so what happens is they've got to create that energy for themselves day in and day out and be able to walk out of the gym feeling good. This time of the year, physically, less is more. So we've got to be able to get our workout in and leave the gym feeling like we won the championship every day and just building our confidence all the way through.
Well, congratulations on advancing. I know it's not always the easiest thing to have that big target on your back as the top-seeded team, but you got it done. Hey, you got 2 weeks. Relax, have some crawfish, celebrate for a minute, and then you can focus on the national championships. Congratulations.
Thank
good
you
luck.
Guys. Appreciate what y'all do.
Good luck in a couple of weeks. So that will wrap it up for this regional. This is what it looks like. Stanford, LSU advanced, Sam, and we had all the drama we could have ever bargained for. Michigan even in that hunt as well. They kind of faded there at the end, but it was great.
Well, if this is the drama just with this first regional site, can you imagine what the next 3 have in store for us? It's going to be such a challenge for these teams to advance to the NCAA championship.
Yeah, let's look at the other regionals. Tempe, Arizona, just getting started now on ESPN+. Georgia, Michigan State, Florida, and Cal going head-to-head over here on this regional.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough competition. Michigan State wants to go back to the NCAA championship. They're not going to make it easy for Georgia, and we know how good Cal is on bars, so they're going to bring their strength and their best effort here tonight. I can bet you that.
Yeah, Florida has found their stride late in the season, and if they're in their stride, they might not be possible to be beat. They're that good. All right, the Lexington, Kentucky Regional, 5 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN+. Number 1 team in the nation there.
Yeah, Oklahoma needs to coast into this NCAA championship. No surprises there, but I'm looking at that Missouri and Arkansas. What's going to happen? Who's going to stick more landings? And what we saw here, who has the fight from start to end? That's who's going to earn their spot to the NCAA championship.
And the 4th and final regional final. This one will be out in Corvallis, Oregon. Whatever you do, do not call Sam Peshek at 8 Eastern time because she'll be on ESPN+, because this one could have all the drama we had today and more.
Yeah, I'm going to be glued to the TV on this one for sure because it's the toughest regional. Look at how good those teams are. We've watched them all season long. They have so many strong events. I'm nervous to see what happens in this regional championship. Who's it going to be? Only 2 teams get to qualify.
My Minnesota Gophers and your UCLA Bruins in that mix. Who's going to have the bragging rights? We shall see. Well, the trees are out. The Stanford Cardinal trees, that is. Here is your regional final schedule. Again, Tempe is going on right now. Lexington tomorrow, 5 Eastern time. And the Corvallis Regional 8 Eastern Time tomorrow. And for more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Well, congratulations to the LSU Tigers and the Stanford Cardinal. They advanced to the NCAA Gymnastics Championship in Fort Worth. You can catch the semifinal April 16th at 4:30 Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. For Sam Peshek and our entire crew and our producer, Carol Lagana, she's a baddie. So long from Baton Rouge, I'm John Roethlisberger.